Good afternoon, it's meteorologist Michael Fecker. Welcome back to the afternoon news and weather update we do here every day at 2:30, Monday through Friday. We start off with a look at our forecast and then we'll transition over to Jamie and Robin. They're going to discuss our top news headlines for this afternoon. But let's get started here with a look at our weather headlines. Well, it's mostly dry out there across the tri-state, but we are still looking at that chance for maybe a pop-up shower. However, most of us will remain dry through the rest of this afternoon. And then we've got better chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head through the weekend. And then looking ahead to next week, more of the same. Seasonably hot and humid, at least with that chance for a few more showers. But it does look like we'll at least have high pressure building in by Monday and Tuesday. So that may help a little bit in the humidity department. So I'll show you what that dew point trend looks like coming up in just a bit. But right now, here's a look at our setup. We've got this stationary front that's draped off to our north. This is the same front that's been in place since this past weekend, and it's just generally been creating an unsettled weather pattern. Again, some of us are getting showers throughout the day, some of us are missing them. It's just going to be that hit or miss scattered shower chance for the last several days. That's what we're looking at, especially as we head into this weekend. However, today overall still looking mainly dry with just a few pop-up showers. But to our south, we have high pressure in place, so that's kind of lifting up that warm and moist air from the south. And then we've got this little area of low pressure that's kind of digging through the central plains. That's going to bring them the chance for some severe weather to our northwest. However, we're not expecting any of that to move into our region in any time soon. But here's a look at our visible satellite. So you can see looking outside, we've just got those fair weather cumulus clouds, or those popcorn type looking clouds. So really nothing ominous to look at there. We have that chance for a spot shower. We did have one earlier this afternoon right on the border of Caldwell and Hopkins County. There is still a lone shower there in Caldwell County, but all dry here in the tri-state. So looking at our future radar, as we progress through this evening, we may catch another little pop-up, but again, most of us staying dry with mostly sunny skies. And then once that sun sets for the night, we'll become completely dry and mostly clear through the overnight hours. And tomorrow's almost a repeat of today. We're looking at, again, seasonably hot and humid temperatures, that slight chance for maybe a pop-up shower in the afternoon, but most of us will remain dry, and then all of that kind of comes to an end as we get into Friday evening there. So looking at our storm risk for the next several days, again, we're not outlooked for any severe weather today or tomorrow. Most of that will stay off to our west and to our northwest. But again, our storm and rain chances do increase as we head into this weekend. So a little bit more isolated this afternoon and into tomorrow, more scattered as we get into Saturday and Sunday. And that's because we're going to have, it looks like, maybe a stronger area of low pressure try to form. And that's going to be enough to at least bring some semblance of a cold front. I don't want to say cold, but maybe a slightly less humid front that's going to be moving through this weekend, and that will help kind of take down that humidity a bit for Monday and into Tuesday. But here's a look at how Saturday is going to be set up. We'll wake up a few clouds, maybe a few stray showers, but again, better chances as we get into the afternoon and into the evening hours. As we get into the heating of the day, that front is parked off just to our northwest, so we'll see a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon and into the evening hours, and then that will kind of kick off as we get into the late Saturday night and into the overnight. Things will start to calm down there. But looking at the overall weekend outlook, again, scattered showers, 50 to 60% chance for both Saturday and Sunday, but still looking at mostly sunny skies for our Friday, outside of that spot chance for a rain shower. But what we are more at risk for here is with any shower or storm that develops through the weekend has the potentially very locally heavy rainfall. So we do have that isolated risk for flash flooding on Saturday and then again on Sunday. Again, it's not going to be a widespread issue. However, if you do get caught underneath one of those heavier downpours or thunderstorms, or you get one that moves over the same area multiple times, that could lead to some localized flooding issues, but nothing widespread or too troublesome as we go through this weekend. So looking at our longer range European model, there's a look at that front that's going to be parked just to our west for Saturday and Sunday, bringing us those chances for showers. And then as we get into Monday, it looks like, at least right now on the European model, it wants to bring in this brief ridge of high pressure behind that front. And what that's going to do is that is going to take down our humidity a bit, and it is also going to reduce those shower and storm chances. However, it does move off to our east pretty quickly. By the time we get into Sunday, we'll already see a return of that warm and humid moist air, and then it looks like towards Thursday and Friday of next week, we may have another frontal boundary slide in from the west, and that will increase our rain chances once again. But looking at our dew point trend, we've been stuck in that muggy category, and we'll be straddling that muggy to stifling category there for Saturday and Sunday. But look at what happens when that front moves through. We drop back down just into that normal humid category. So rather than seeing dew points in the low to mid 70s, we'll be seeing them in the low to mid 60s. So not completely dry and pleasant like we would expect a fall cold front to bring, but it is the middle of July. So we'll take what we can get in terms of the humidity department. And looking at our longer range forecast, July 16th through the 20th, it does look like we'll likely remain right around average or at least slightly above in terms of our precipitation chances, likely accounting for that spot heavy downpour that may bring at least an inch of rain possible in just one location. So that'll be something we'll look at through the coming weeks. But temperatures are also going to start to moderate a little bit more, still hanging out around normal or maybe even slightly above average through the middle and end of the month. So looking at our 7-day temperature trend there, you can see our average highs locked at around 89 degrees where that red line is. So we'll be a little bit above that as we get into Friday and into Saturday, but then that shower and thunderstorm chances and that cold front start to cool us down a good bit more. So we'll be back down to around average before warming back up again into the lower 90s ahead of another front moving in for the second half of the work week next week. So there's a look at your 7-day forecast. I'll take this full so you guys can see it better, but just to kind of wrap it up here, mostly a sunny day for our Friday with that spot chance for a shower, better chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms on and off through the afternoon, both Saturday and on Sunday. Temperatures will start to cool off a bit for the second half of the weekend, 89 degrees, and then it should feel a little bit more refreshing as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Again, it's not going to be completely void of humidity, but it will feel a little bit better out there. Temperatures will hang out in the lower 90s, and then more chances for showers and storms return for the middle of next week as that cold front slides in once again. So that is all I have here for the forecast. So I am going to hop off the stream here, but don't go anywhere yet. Rob and Jamie will be here with a look at your news headlines for the afternoon.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices. Live from 14 News, this is a 14 Digital News Desk update.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie French.
And I'm Robinson Miles. As per usual, there is a lot going on around the tri-state today. And so for our first headline today, we're actually going to be starting in Warwick County, where we have a developing story there. The Newburgh City Council voted to reject a proposed fire protection contract by Ohio Township. Officials say the town and the Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department provided services for a 10-square-mile area of Ohio Township.
Yeah, so according to the press release, calls initially began as 50 to 80 per year in the area, so a very low call volume. But then that volume reached 648 calls just in 2024. Newburgh and Ohio Township leaders both say that fire and EMS services will continue in both areas despite their contract ending. So we have a lot of questions for officials to learn more about what this means and what exactly happened with that contract. So our new reporter, Emma Beck, is actually talking to officials today to try to get some of those questions answered. She will, of course, have more details for you tonight on 14 News.
Look forward to that. That was one thing that we had roll into the newsroom, or the first inklings of it, a little bit late yesterday. It was one of those we couldn't quite make heads or tails of it. So thank you, Emma, for diving into this one, getting it all sorted out.
Yeah.
So our next story today, a new opportunity for Kentuckians looking to achieve their GED. Team Kentucky is taking GED testing on the road.
Yeah, this is very cool. Governor Andy Beshear says state education leaders are traveling to do more than 24 testing deserts in the state. So officials say these will include remote and rural areas where GED testing centers are limited. And that includes a couple of tri-state counties. The new mobile unit will make a stop in Hancock, Hopkins, McLean, and Ohio counties. This mobile unit is equipped with headsets, laptops, and more things needed to conduct those GED tests, all for free, right there in one mobile unit.
It seems like we're seeing a lot more of things like this. I feel like over time we've seen mobile dentistry units, we've seen different things like that. It seems like kind of a cool bridge the gap sort of thing. Like, okay, maybe we don't have the resources to create whole offices,
Just
but
bring it to you.
just take it. Just throw it in the truck. We'll bring it to you.
It's perfect.
Bit more formal than that, I know,
I
but
love
still.
It. Yeah, very cool.
All right, now for the big one. The third headline. Yeah, we brought you 3 today.
We did.
That's how big a deal this is. So the big thing going on all across the nation, and especially the internet, the McDonald's snack wrap is back.
Oh, it
McDonald's
sure is.
first unveiled this back in 2006 before ultimately discontinuing the item 10 years later, to which many were quite upset.
Oh, absolutely. Ever since, dedicated Snack Wrap fans have just been pleading for the Snack Wrap return. We're talking on social media. There was an online petition that got thousands of signatures. Also, Demi Lovato and other celebrities were like taking to social media saying like, bring back the Snack Wrap. So that helped, I'm sure. And it is back. Of course, There's another layer to this. It does all come as beef prices are reaching record levels and fast food places are really leaning into more affordable chicken items. We're talking Burger King has the Royal Crispy Wrap. Taco Bell has the Crispy Chicken Tacos. So, of course, McDonald's had to say, step out of the way. Let me show you what this is about and bring back the Snack Wrap. So.
Now, for one who eats as poorly as I do,
Me
I was
too.
shocked that this was not on my radar at all.
Everyone has said that. They didn't know that it was coming back today. People didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? I marked my calendar.
Yeah, I feel like it was like a month ago where we ran a national story, and you and I got talking about this. I feel like when it is finally out, we might end up like toasting a couple of them,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're fine champagne
Oh,
or
yes.
something.
Oh,
Like we
yes.
have
Just
to
in the middle of the
experience
newsroom.
this. Oh, 100%. Anything with a following, it's like immediately I'm sold. Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so vulnerable to peer pressure.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like everyone likes it.
Well, I
Okay.
woke up and I saw McDonald's post on Facebook that says, we're getting a little emotional writing this. The Snack Wrap is back. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the first thing I wake up to? What a day. So I was excited.
To me, it becomes infinitely funnier when you think that it is not a complicated item.
It's a chicken tender in a tortilla shell, but
There's
it's great.
some lettuce and cheese in there. Yeah, but that petitions and celebrity endorsements.
And it worked.
I've got to figure out what this is. I need to understand it. This is my white whale.
Well, we'll
I
go get
will
one for dinner after
This is
the
happening.
show. There we
Okay,
go. All right, good deal.
sold. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Of course, all these stories and so much more in a lot more detail ahead at 14 News at 4, 5, and 6. Then, of course, 14 News at 10.
All right, thanks for watching this afternoon. Have a great day.